Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. And if you are a new viewer, well, just keep in mind that these build videos are focused around Warframe and weapon synergies, with all the other endgame loot in between. They're tailored to a certain playstyle that may not be for everyone. With that being said though, today we're going to be looking at Mag, and how I approach playing her in an endurance survival. Now, Mag is an absolute powerhouse which deserves your respect. All four of her abilities are incredibly useful, which can't be said for all Warframes. From disarming and jamming enemy fire, to removing shields and armor, to massive amounts of damage, you're going to be stealing the lunch money from your enemies in no time. We're going to be using the Maradetron, an old school hand cannon from Barrow, and the Securapenta to do some insane synergy stuff. Without further ado, this is my updated build that I like to call Infinity Mag. Mag. So the footage you just watched was from just after the shield gating changes, along with the status changes, and I have to say I learned a little bit from that, and I think we've sort of got even further with the sort of damage capabilities of Mag, from wiping entire rooms to doing millions of damage, even 3 millions of damage, and with some friends, even higher. So the reason I call this build the Infinity Mag is actually an homage to an older build that I did a long time ago called the Infinity Shot Mag. This is a reference to a synergy with the Securapenta and just the Penta in general. The round, when shot into a magnetized bubble, will infinitely go around and actually path in an infinity symbol sign. I really had to show you this, guys, because I don't think many people have ever noticed this. Really cool stuff. I'm not even sure if it's intentional, but bravo D on that one. Here's an example. I fire just one penta round, and then we can just sit tight, let the damage build up inside the bubble, and eventually we'll pop the bubble to completely punish everything inside. Pop! There we go. But wait, there's more. More enemies spawning, and I haven't even fired another round. I've still got the Maradetron equipped. However, the penta round that is still on the ground, when I cast another magnetized bubble, it picks the round back up and starts to do its work again. It is worth noting that you can use any penta, however the Securapenta has enhanced stats and a syndicate proc. Let's have a look at the build, shall we? So we have Serration for core damage, and Split Chamber for more multi-shot. Hammer Shot I'm using at the moment for critical damage and status chance. Do swap this out for my Rhythm when I'm using it, which I need to re-roll for even more crit damage, and crit chance, I think. But for now, Hammer Shot will work. We have Point Strike for more critical chance. Vigilante Supplies for ammo, but it's really more for the passive of the enhanced critical on primaries. Thermite Rounds for heat and status. High Voltage and Inflected Clip to get our corrosive. And Hunter Munitions for slash procs from all that crit that we're proccing as well. Don't let the skin fool you, this is the Maradetron. I just don't like its VHS tape look as standard. I do, however, love this weapon to pieces. It is one of my OG favourites. Let's have a look at the build, shall we? And so for the Maradetron build, we have Hornet Strike for core damage. Prime Target Cracker, which is placeholder for Riven slot with extra damage that I have here, status and Bane. Fortunately, there's a negative of critical chance. I will be re-rolling, but for now that works. Pistol Pestilence, Frostbite for viral and status chance, Reflex Draw for holster speed, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent for more multi-shot and fire rate. Most essential mod here though, Seeker for the extra punch through, so that this works with the magnetized bubble, traveling the pellets around and around the bubble. We also have Scorch there for additional heat, so we have heat, radiation and viral. Quick example here, you can see the bullets just keep going round and smashing into all the enemies. We've got 10 stacks of viral giving us bonus damage to health. We also have radiation causing friendly fire between the enemies and heat for armor stripping as well. I know a lot of you are going to ask for a Cronin Prime build. I'm just going to say now that it's not essential. Any hybrid status crit chance weapon, whatever you want to use, whatever flavor, I would recommend corrosive or viral, however. And now for the main attraction. I will however go into some examples of what abilities to use and when in order to stay alive and maximise your damage, but let's have a look at the build. So because of Crush and Polarize both giving shields when cast, we're using enemy radar instead of brief respite to see spawns on the map. We have Handspring for when we get knocked down, we get up incredibly quick, I think it's a very underrated mod. Primed Continuity for additional duration. Primed Flow for, maximum energy, Streamline for more efficiency on casting, Natural Talent for quicker casting speed, of course. Now, 2 augments, we're using Magnetize Discharge for additional range on Magnetize, along with a passive that disarms targets 50% of the time when you detonate a mag bubble, which is really cool. Another defensive ability we're going to be using is Polarize to jam enemy weapons using the Counter Pulse augment. It's very good for crowd control and support. Now, Rolling Guard is for our iframes and dot removal. We're going to use this on rotation for when our shields go down. I will show an example coming up. We also have Stretch to just increase our abilities range as well, especially for the Magnetize and Polarize. Worth noting, I am using Arcane Energize for an Arcane for energy management, and Arcane Pistolier, which will allow you to have basically infinite ammo without having to reload when you're firing into the mag bubbles with Amara Detron. So how are we staying alive in endurance runs? We're taking advantage of shield gating mechanics with iframes from Rolling Guard. As our shields are dropped, we're going to use either Crush or Polarize in order to crowd control the area and regain shields on cast. It's a rinse and repeat process which will sometimes catch you out if you have bad positioning or you're not aware of certain enemies that aren't going to be affected by your crowd control, such as a Kuva Guardian. Here's a little breakdown of my damage rotation using Polarize, then Magnetize, followed by the Penta, and then finally the Detron. This is going to apply all these status effects and then build up the magnetized damage as enemies get clumped up into it. Bearing in mind this is all situational for positioning and you really need to know when to use these things. Here's it all in action together with some big damage. Guys, please keep in mind that this is just how I like to play her, and if you find an interesting way that you prefer to play her, by all means use it. If it's fun to you, that's the most important part. So before moving on to the fashion guide, a massive shout out to Ludens, who has worked in collaboration with me on this video to give us an incredible Interstellar mag fashion, and my Infinity mag is also a modified version of that. That's about it for this video, I think. There are links to Ludens' channel along with my Discord, Twitter and Twitch stuff. Coming up next you have the fashion guide, followed by some more gameplay from the Endurance Survival while testing mag. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, you awesome dudes and dudettes. Ciao for now. Mag.